Next is from Wayne Grolfine, and subject is Gunther. Anyone else notice that Roman Reigns and Gunther have the exact same gimmick? Heel faction leaders who both broken records with their title runs. People always talk about who Roman should finally drop the title to. My question is K100. Who's the guy who should end Gunther's title run? Personally, if you ask me, I'm going with Karrion Kross. I'm not saying this because it's your boy, but I think Kross being the only one who beats Gunther would not only save his career, but it could also protect Gunther. It's just he lost to a bigger guy who got all his shoot fighting legitimacy to him. If it was up to you guys, who would you pick? I don't know.
Yo, before Disco answers, you know that Twitter thing between Dave and what's this guy Tony?
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me, Joe?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, you know the thing you just read us between Meltzer and Tony?
Yeah.
Did Meltzer answer Tony after Tony said that or no?
I'll look at his Twitter. I don't believe so because that was from the newsletter, and then that was from a Tony conference call. So
right.
Oh, somebody saying okay, yeah, that was not an exchange.
That wasn't an exchange. I'm sorry if I made it seem that way. No.
Yeah. No.
Okay, well, who would you do it? Who would you have him lose with, and would you do it with Kevin?
I'd have Drew McIntyre win the title.
It's not a bad idea.
Because it used to be that the Intercontinental Champion was like supposed to be the number one contender for the world title. I wouldn't mind seeing Drew get the Intercontinental title as a heel, go on a heel run, and I don't know. It's like I look at if you're ranking the guys, like if you did the top 10 rankings on that show, I think Drew would be ranked number 3. Just on base how often he went. Well, you have Roman, Gunther, and Drew. That's how I would rank them. Because they're the 2 champions in him. So I don't know.
So if I had to pick somebody, I like Drew. I wasn't even thinking of him, but I like that one. I also like this is a good way to finally establish him, LA Knight.
And that's a good point too. Yeah.
The problem with Kevin is that, bro, they haven't done anything with him to make him believable to beat Gunther. Yeah, he does have the size and he does have the look. He doesn't have the good storyline, or he doesn't seem like a star right now. You know what I'm saying? What are they doing with him? I don't even see him anymore.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Next
this is kind of odd because you had me look at Meltzer here, and this, I don't think he meant this to be insulting, but it reads insulting to me. So this guy on Twitter, Let's Go Ducks, tweeted at Dave, AEW is the CFL to the WWE's NFL. Okay. And Dave says, that's a bad analogy. Fair would be NBA with ABA and NFL with AFL. Comparing AEW to the ABA or the AFL sounds kind of insulting to me.
I disagree with that. No, because they
had good players. They had good players.
They ended up merging with them. They ended up merging with the league.
Yeah.
So that is actually a good example. They're not like, this guy's trying to say they're more like the CFL is like an inferior product. Like they play different rules and stuff and everything and all that. And they're not getting but that's actually a good analogy by Dave because AEW is like on a level where they're the B side, but they have the talent to merge. Bro,
NBA had like Dan Izzo, it had like Julius Irving, Dr. J, Artis Gilmore. Like they had a lot of stars over there.
And the AFL champion beat the NFL champions with Joe Namath.
Right. They did to win the Super Bowl, remember?
Yeah, definitely not.
When I saw AFL, I immediately thought that meant arena, but I wasn't thinking back far enough. He was talking about,
Yeah. So next is Eddie Hogan, subject is Punk at Mania 40. So all the talk about CM Punk returning to WWE at Survivor Series. Apparently Seth Rollins is dropping CM Punk references in his promos lately. It's got the ICW talk about how WrestleMania 40 Night 1 will be headlined by CM Punk versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, I wouldn't hate that match, but do you guys think it's possible to keep Rollins as World Heavyweight Champion between now and April and still have it be interesting? Personally, could not have given a single about this Rollins versus Nick Nakamura feud. I'm writing this before Raw, so I don't know if they're going to keep that storyline going or not. But I feel that as a viewer, Rollins needs to drop the title. He doesn't need it. At the same time, if I was to pick Punk's WrestleMania opponent, I'm going with CM Punk versus The Miz. They had real-life heat. Miz is incredible on the mic, and so is Punk. They can come with some promo battle with gold, and most of all, The Miz's zero ego, seemingly, will do everything possible to sell for Punk and put him over at Mania. Rollins, I don't know about that. P.S. Another marquee booking idea I want to see at Mania is Rollins versus LA Knight versus Cody Rhodes. That's if Rock versus Roman versus brothers gets. I can't stand emails like this where people are just emailing, tell me all their booking ideas. Okay, this is I couldn't give a. I don't care what they do. Okay, I'm like not a fan of these shows where like I'm these marks, like they come up with booking ideas for the show and type them out and like everybody see what their ideas are. I just want to see what they do and analyze the course they're taking. That's the way I look at the shows.
Well,
I'm
you
not
gotta,
in my
what you
mind
gotta
thinking
remember is,
booking angles out. Like
I
I
know,
don't even think of that.
I'm the same way. I'm not thinking, oh, who's going to headline WrestleMania? I don't think
Right.
like that, right? But maybe if I was 12 or 15 or new to the business, I would, you know,
Right.
because I remember when I was young, I always used to think, wow, what would happen if Billy Graham wrestled Dusty Rhodes? And it actually happened.
Right.
Mhm.
And in Miami in the Orange Bowl.
Right.
And the reason I say that, for people that know, Dusty Rhodes was an NWA, superstar Billy Graham was WWEF when it was back then, and
Mhm.
those guys never wrestled each other, so it was a big deal to me, you know. So to these younger guys, you know, that's a big deal. What's the
These
question?
younger cats.
Yeah, these younger cats,
Next was from
these younger
Derek.
snowflakes.
Right.
Oh, I don't think, bro. You think that Rollins wouldn't wrestle Punk? I think he would, because first of
Sure.
all, he wouldn't be saying those lines about him in his promos if he had heat with him. He's actually saying lines that Punk said before. There's no reason, you know, Corey Graves made it. Oh, the thing, the biggest trick the devil ever did is, you know, that he didn't exist. Punk had actually said that.
Right.
You know, Rollins also. There's like 3 lines that he said in Ring of Honor. In rings that they're using on their TV. That can't be a coincidence.
Right.
And if Rollins is saying it, means he's cool with it, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think we will see Rollins against Punk.
I wonder
That'll
what the
be
numbers are
great.
going to do for Punk coming back.
Big.
I would suggest. Well, how big is big? I would suggest it goes up like 100,000. I think that's what
Well,
he
we know
brings.
that for sure. I think we know that for sure.
Because it
Might
is
bring more.
interesting. He brought in 100,000 on a show. Actually, he might bring in more. You're right, because
Yeah. It's WWE.
well, you have the
They have a higher reach, bro.
and he
Bigger
was
footprint.
in that system forever, right?
Yeah.
So the lapsed fans of WWE, like probably that were Punk fans, like
Right.
the lapsed fans that may come back and watch the show, they weren't going to go watch AEW.
Right.
Like, you know, but the lapsed WWE fans that were fans of Punk, they may go and watch. So maybe like 200,000.
Right.
Maybe.
And he's going to have fans that follow him from AEW and fans that like us that are curious, you know.
Right.
I think it will do good, and WWE does a great job at promoting like that.
Right. Well, they've been knocking out the park with all the things
Yeah.
that they've been doing. So I would suggest that they've been probably have a good idea with this. So next from Derek Mejia, subject is Sky Blue. Have you guys noticed Sky Blue's ring intro? She comes out, just starts biting her tongue over and over, like in a sexy way. The first time, okay, you sex the second time, okay, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. She did it 8 times last week. I'm wondering now if she was a school too. Anyway, someone please help Disco finish a sentence without stuttering. Have a great day. Let's suspend this guy for yeah, that's a straight suspension, not a yellow card.
Not even a yellow card. I like that.
She bites her tongue. I didn't really notice. I mean,
I never noticed it either.
Yeah, you know how like all the young generation now, like all the singers. The first one I saw doing was Miley Cyrus. You know, like
Right.
you know, it's like a generational thing. You know, Sammy Guevara does it a lot too. Like, yeah.
Right. So
Like boom.
next is from our resident booker, Brian Dunlop. Subject is music and pro wrestling, WWE Fastlane Media Scrum. Hello, K100. Steve Fall of Wrestling News Co. is getting plenty of backlash for asking Io Skye about a match between her and Taylor Swift, possibly at WrestleMania 40. A lot of social media folks are clowning on the dude, and even Triple H joked about it. Io asked Steve, "Are you crazy?" during the Fastlane Media Scrum. What do you think? Bad idea from Steve? However, I do like the general idea of music and wrestling collab. Remember WWF Rock and Wrestling from the 80s or the arrival of Kiss and WCW? Here's my idea. A premium live event called NXT No Sleep Till Brooklyn. Have live performances for the Beastie Boys and maybe bring... Oh my God, this guy. And maybe bring back...
Boring.
And bring Enzo Amore back. I don't really listen to the Beastie Boys anymore, but I still think it'd be cool. What do you think about them apples? Well, the Beastie Boys, when the guy died. Okay, you idiot. All right? So, it's just like,
wait a minute.
All right.
He even his last line. He said, "What do you think about it's how do you
like them apples?
What do you think about them apples?"
Good.
Do you want to watch the EO Skye? The guy asked the question. Or no,
I don't have no. Bro, these reporters and these media.
No, you want to hear this. You want to hear this.
Oh, you do?
Disco.
Okay. All right. Let's hear it then.
Go ahead.
all right.
She doesn't even know what going on.
Now, right now, you did an amazing job beating two of the biggest in the business, Charlotte Flair, of course, and Asuka. But there's someone making headlines outside of wrestling, Taylor Swift. That's right. I brought her name into the room. I knew this would happen.
Oh, and completely.
Could we see Taylor Swift in the WWE, possibly going for your championship gold? That's right.
You know Taylor
I
Swift?
brought up Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You want to wrestle her?
Wanna wrestle Taylor Swift?
What's the
What do you?
Do
What
you
a
wrestle?
oh my god! What is that publication this guy writes for? I've seen enough. What does this guy write for?
Are you crazy?
I
Pro
think NBC.
Wrestling News Co.
But yeah, of course.
Good
Each team
grief!
won.
I mean, I
That's
cannot imagine what a geeky site that must be.
That is embarrassing. Yeah.
I mean, what a geek! Oh my
I
god!
told you it was worth watching at first because somebody sent this to me on Twitter, and it sounded a little like Brian Alvarez, and I go, "Who is this?" Because I go, "I don't think Brian's that geeky."
Well, let me.
And then,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
That's
Yeah,
right.
and
I
I know
brought up Taylor Swift.
I know the guy. And he's actually a cool dude. But what a mega mark question.
Right. Well,
Bro,
speaking of being
she's
mega mark,
small,
Brian Dunlap in this email, he's talking about I do like the general idea of a music and wrestling collab. It's like, dude, did you know what Bad Bunny does for a living? Like, are you that clueless? Oh my god, Brian. This was your worst email submission you've ever had, by the way. Okay.
Though I will say I do like the idea of the Beastie Boys, the two remaining ones, doing no
sleep till
nights
Brooklyn.
out in Brooklyn. At Brooklyn. Yeah.
Which guy
No
died?
sleep
Do you know offhand? Which-
Um,
I don't remember.
till- forget it.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, look it up.